Welcome inside Mercedes Benz Stadium as bowl season has officially kicked off in 2024 in the city of Atlanta. And after making the same trip 3 of the last 4 seasons, Jackson State finally wins their first Celebration Bowl title versus South Carolina State. And it was a dominant victory, a 21-point win that doesn't even really tell you how good Jackson State was in this game, considering South Carolina State had just 67 total yards of offense at the first 3 quarters. 28-7 was your final. Here's the coaches and some players following the game.
Very pleased with my football team in this entire journey. It's been a great, incredible run for this football team and these coaches. Everybody involved with JSU football, the fans, I can't say enough. They really showed up here in the city of Atlanta for this game. But, you know, these guys, they worked their butts off all year for this moment, and they went out there today and dominated. They really went out there today and played a dominant football game. And, you know, we talked about it all week. After we won last weekend, we knew it would be a quick turnaround, but we had to get ready for this one, you know. And I told them, you know, you got to shake that one off and get ready for this one because this is it. There's no football after today. So I'm just proud of my football team, proud of the fans, my coaching staff, everybody that made this happen. You know, to be a national champ right now, it feels awesome.
All right, our first question for the student athletes will come from Stephen, then the young man behind him. Stephen.
Stephen Gaither, HBCU Game Day. This is for Mr. Mulligan. You know, you guys came out here and really were able to run the ball against them. You know, just talk about the performance that you had, and it seems like under the lights against this team, for sure, you guys really kind of turned it on. You started it on kind of Thursday night with that intensity and kind of carried it over to the game.
Yeah, I was talking a little trash that night, so it's one thing to talk it, but we really a humble team, so it's like, you got to be able to perform and walk it as well. And, I mean, people say I had a good game, but I always give it to the offensive line. It started in the trenches first, you know. So the offensive line is, man, you got 3 guys that's going to the HBCU Legacy Bowl, so that speaks loud enough for itself. So I just give it up to those guys up front, honestly.
All right, right here.
Miss you heard the Crush Sports Talk. Jeremiah, for you, talk about just owning the A-gap all day and just being disruptive in their backfield the entire afternoon.
Man, it was just a one-mind thing, man. I was locked in the whole game. My coach told me from the get-go, man, own your gap. So I owned my gap all game, man. And the game plan just was simple.
Right here.
Emmanuel Glazer, Crush Sports Talk. Jeremy, I want to continue on that as far as not only your production on the defensive line, but the whole team with 30 yards rushing. Talk about the mentality of your front line, that front 7, to stop that running game today.
Just, man, we won this game in the summer just about hard work and extra. We get extra every day after practice. And to stop that run, you got to do extra work. You got to get extra weight room, man. It's a blessing to win this game just because we just a good front and we got a good back end and the linebacker, man, just flying to the ball every play.
All right. Gentleman in the back with the hat.
Yeah, Wayne Cartwright from the Hill Podcast. This question is for Irv Mulligan. Irv, just coming from having surgery in the offseason and now capping this off today, how would you, in your own words right now, sum up the story now for you?
It's just a blessing, man. And it's like I said, this is like the will and the want to. I had a goal before I got injured, and I had it in my mind last year we was gonna be in the Natty, and we just had a rough season. So we already knew he had what it took. We just had to find the small pieces to put it together. And this year, Coach TC did a great job. And I just give my hats off to him and the rest of my teammates, honestly. Without him and my teammates and the courage and the extra work and the extra rehab and stuff they put me through, I wouldn't be able to come out here and do what I do. So I just give it all to them.
Young lady in the back.
Jeremiah Graves from the Grave Digger Report. Mr. Williams, this is for you. This question's for you. I know we actually spoke online, you know, based on you playing that 1 technique and also that 3 technique. You stated how important it was that, you know, that defense wins championships. Underneath Coach Taylor's tutelage, can you speak about, you know, the culture? It just seems like the sauce is just totally different, you know, after this championship that, you know, he won underneath his tutelage.
Man, it's just a blessing, man, to stop that run, man. Coach Collie James, man, he hang hat on stopping the run. He He tell us every game, man, 5-yard plays, man, he angry at us because he know what we're capable of. So he just, from the get-go, man, started off strong.
Dr. Cavell, young man in purple, then Wilson.
Kenyatta Cavill, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. This is for Jacoby and Morgan. You played particularly early in this game with such an efficiency on third down, hit a big long pass. Talk about your mindset going in here and where was that in terms of how efficient you were able to play today?
Yeah, I just wanted to come in here and be myself. Coach at practice, he been on me just, to play my game and just stay level-headed. So it's just being attention to detail, going to practice and knowing what the looks are we're going to get and just being able to execute them.
Jefferson.
Good evening. Michael Jefferson, Block Sports out of Indianapolis. Congratulations. Third time's the charm. How does it feel on the offensive side and the defensive side to get the job done?
The offensive side, well, this is my first time. I know Jeremiah, this is third time. Yeah, so for me, hometown kid, to get it done the first time, to have our names in the book for the first time winning the Celebration Bowl, it's an amazing feeling, and that my hat goes out to these guys. Just putting in the hard work all season, It wasn't. We had obstacles, we had ups and downs, but we always came to prevail at the end.
Man, Coach TC, from the get-go, from the start, he told me the years before, man, we're going to get one for sure. And we set the tone in the summer, man. We've been winning this game in the summer. The hard work we put in, the extra before and after practice, the more the conditioning we do, man, is out of this world, man. And it showed out today.
Jason McDonald, Core 360 Sports. Most of you guys sitting up there are from Mississippi and as your head coach. He played for Jackson State. He wore that uniform you have on right now. What can you say to him, or what has been said between you that can really reach out to the next generation of players, what it means to come to Jackson State and to play for the Tigers?
We'll go with Jacoby and Irv from South Carolina, and we'll go with Jeremiah.
All
right, go Jacoby.
First and foremost, I want to thank Coach for getting this roster together that, like Irv said, we already had the pieces. And it's just, when you got Coach of the Year, he's just going to put you in the right places to make the right plays. So to any players that's coming to look here, you got a great coach ahead of you that's going to coach you every day. He's not going to let up. And that's what you want. Like, Coach stay on me every day. I got up downs out to practice every day. Good or bad. Good or bad. And it's just a testament to, hard work. And he know what he got. He trusts me. He know that, if I just stay level-headed, that I can have the success that I want. So, yeah.
Jeremiah.
Man, like Kobe said, man, Coach TC know what it looked like. That's why he won Coach of the Year, man. We've been here 3 times, and he knew he was going to get it done eventually. Like, it was the small thing. He put the pieces together, man. It's all we needed to stay connected and teamwork, man, and stay on us every day. That's what Coach do.
All right. We got our final question for the student athletes.
All right. Dwayne Nash from the Yard, HBCU Sports and Hero Sports. This question is specifically for Jeremiah, but if the other 2 players, if you were here the other 2 times in which Jackson State appeared in the Celebration Bowl, there were perceived distractions off the field that may or may not have affected performance on the field. Can you speak on whether or not coming into this year without any outside distractions may have led to you guys in your performance this particular season?
Man, we just keep the main thing. We stayed focused all season. We just one goal to mind. Everybody locked in. We wouldn't really worry about any distractions this season.
All right. With that, gentlemen, congratulations again, and thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to take questions from the head coach. If you ask a question from the players, you probably won't get called on. So you're going to put your hand down. We'll start, since we're here, we'll start with Luke. And then Mr. Roden. Well, excuse me. Mr. Roden, you go first. Lou, you wait. You got like 5 questions. I know. Mr. Roden.
Hey, good morning. Bill Roden from ESPN Landscape. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Coach Taylor.
Thank you.
Just curious, hey, do you remember how old you were when you saw your first Jackson State game?
Ooh. I'm probably say, for me to remember back that for about 10, 11 years old.
Okay, we'll go with 10.
Yeah, 10, 11 years old.
And this is a follow-up to that, is that, Jackson State's in your blood. I mean, you played there, you grew up, the whole thing. So does it mean anything more to bring this championship home, having been through the whole, the representing institution?
Yeah, I mean, it means everything. It means everything. I think we said it. To grow up in the stadium, like I said, coming to those games and watching so many great players play in that stadium, and then, deciding to play my college career, my collegiate career there, and then today, leading the charge on that. It means everything to me. It means everything to me. There's still a lot of people around that were around when I was there as a player. We just, to hug those people after a game like this. My family that supported me throughout, that when what we was just basically talking about, my sister was the one who used to take me to a lot of those games. And she was out there on the field with me. So, I mean, it means everything.
Lute Williams from the Black College Sports page. Coach, congratulations on a great season, a great win today, right here.
Oh, okay.
Coach, I want to talk about your offensive coordinator calling the plays. It looks like you kept them off balance all day. When they thought you were going to run, you passed. When they thought you were going to pass, you ran. You hit some big plays. Obviously had 2 TDs called back, but you still, I thought, kept them off balance. Talk about what was your strategy from an offensive standpoint going into this game.
We talked about controlling the trenches. I challenged the offensive line today. And I walked throughs before we left the hotel. I challenged Irv Mulligan, and I just been on Jacoby about staying level throughout this whole deal today, and they went out there and executed their butts off. And it's like you said, that last touchdown, they was expecting a run. And I said, you know what, we're going to throw it to our best receiver right here, Jonas Vertillion, and we're going to start celebrating. And Jonas, first of all, Jacoby makes a great throw. Jonas makes a great catch, but I think it's like you said, I try to just keep them off balance. The defensive coordinator, they got a good defense over there. They got some really good players over there, and if you can keep those guys off balance with the things we were doing. We mixed up some tempo, then we slowed it down when we needed to. Heck, we put 2 tight ends on the field a lot today, so just keeping them off balance, led to the success you saw out there today.
All right, we're gonna go Wilson right here in the front, Coach.
Wilson Jackson, Black Sports Insiders. Coach, we've had a lot of conversations, but I want to take you back to this one. It was 2020, a couple of weeks before Deion Sanders got hired. We were sitting in your office, and I asked you how bad you wanted to get this job at Jackson State, and you said you really, really wanted to lead this job. This is the only job you ever wanted. Mm-hmm. Did you ever envision it turning out to be the way it has turned out today?
No doubt. No doubt. I trust in God. And he had already told me the blueprint and everything, but he also told me to be ready when he gets here, and I always prepared that way. And when I had that opportunity, I pulled my sleeves up and went to work. I knew what I want my roster to look like. I knew what I wanted this coaching staff to look like. And I knew we were going to be successful. I wanted this moment. I knew this moment was going to happen. I kind of wanted it last year. But I had to. We played solid, 7-4. But I knew one more signing class we were going to be really. We had the opportunity to be really good, and those guys came in here and changed the culture. Believed in me. Had a lot of turnover with the coaching staff after the first year. They came in here and bought into the culture, and I said, we're going to work our butts off because we were going to get to this moment.
All right, we'll go to the young lady in the pink in the back.
Congrats, Coach. Mercer Stubbs, 16 WAPT down in Jackson. I was watching your face or your reaction when you was raising that trophy. You looked like you were in awe. Just talk about what it means to have the confetti falling on you this time.
Yeah, when I raised the trophy up, they were kind of late with the confetti. And that's what I've been waiting on. So I'm like, come on now. That's what I've been seeing everybody in previous years getting their confetti while they raised that trophy. You finna give me the confetti today, but it felt great. It felt great. It was some great moments out there today. I think the one that kind of blew me away when I hear the crowd hollering my name, like, good gracious, that was unbelievable. That's a moment I'll never forget. But to get on that stage, I've been waiting a long time to get on that stage and hoist that trophy up, and it was an unbelievable feeling.
All right, go David.
Coach in the back on the center here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure covering the team on this journey.
Done a great job.
Thank you very much. Just two quick thoughts for you. Number one, why was this team able to finish the job? We've seen Jackson State here 3 of the past 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Why this year's team? And secondly, South Carolina State, before you guys got in here, was saying they think the turning point in the game was Isaiah Spencer and Jacoby Morgan connecting on that huge play.
Yeah.
What did you see in that, and do you believe that was if not the turning point, to really add on?
Yeah, it's like what Jeremiah was talking about, man. Nobody knows how hard we worked in the off season. We had quite a few new players that come in here, and they just bought in. When they say we're a family over here and the brotherhood, that's what it is. There was times today that the offense has sputtered, but those defensive guys come down there and say, we finna go stop them. Hey, I know a lot of people in here were wondering why I went for it like that, because I know what the defense was going to go out there and do if we didn't get that. And they went out there and, held those guys. It's just a brotherhood that we got over there. The play to Spencer was funny about it when I called it. I said, there's no way. I know Coach Barry got to be ready for this play because that's been an explosive play like 6 times this year. I think we scored like 5 times, and that one time that's what I told Spencer when he ran off. I'm like, how do you not score? We've been pretty solid on that play, but it's a play that we get a matchup on the safety. Anytime Janaelin Dupree, Isaiah Spencer, I can get a matchup on the safety. We're going to take advantage of it. So the stadium, it woke up after that. It woke up after that play, but it was a lot of big plays out there that I'm very excited about right now.
Young man in the red.
Coach Walker from Tomorrow Leader Sports Network. Congratulations, Coach TC.
It's good to see you, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You guys have been resilient all season long. What has been that one thing with this team where you knew that this would be your year?
It was after that loss to Gremlin. That Gremlin loss, the way we were able to come back and get to work, we could have kind of tanked it right there. It was a tough loss, but I always say, that was a loss that we needed early on to kind of wake us up, and that's what I told the team. But it was after that, then I knew we were going to take this thing and get the rolling right there. Jacoby, he didn't play his best in that game. Cam McCoy played in that game. We turned the ball over. It was just a lot going on. So when we were done with that game, I was so ready to get to that first next practice to see how they would respond. And they came out, ready to work. And I knew then we had an opportunity to be really good this year. Thank you.
Next one.
Like what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Mm.
Hey, Coach Kobe, you're with the Blitz City Podcast.
Kobe.
Congratulations, Coach. I'm making it. I'm making it. Coach. So Eric Phoenix has been very electric for South Carolina State all year. Yeah. What did you see on film that helped you come up with the game plan to keep him in check today?
Let me say this about Eric Phoenix. He is a really good quarterback. We talked to him before he made the decision to go to South Carolina State. We did get him on the phone, but it was all about a fit. But we did speak to him, but he can play the game. But so can our D-line. Those guys really did a good job of getting after him, moving him out of the pocket and making him do some things he didn't want to do. And then this is what I told him. I said, when you get a chance to get him to the ground, make it violent. He got to get back up and go back out there and make a play. But he is a really good quarterback, that I do think a lot of that can go out there and make plays. They're not playing here today without Eric Phoenix.
In the back row, Coach.
Coach, back here in the middle. Coach, this is a stage that this school and your team has been on.
I'm sorry, we do name and affiliation before we ask that question.
Oh, sorry. Reggie Chapman, 11 Live TV here in Atlanta. Coach, this is a stage your team has been on the last couple of years. Just can you speak to this experience for your guys, how important this game is for HBCU athletics and the stage that's been created to showcase what this game is like on the national stage?
Yeah, it's huge. Anytime you got an opportunity to play for a national championship, and lead your program out there, it's exposure for your schools, both schools. And I'm pretty sure I hadn't heard the numbers, but I know a lot of people watched. That I looked up one time that the stadium got pretty packed at one point. It kind of caught me off guard, just hearing that roar. But the exposure is everything right now for the HBCU brand. And we got to continue to push that brand and continue to go out there and do things the right way and play good football. Play good football because everybody's watching. So we got to take advantage of these opportunities when you get on ABC television.
Timona Stapleton. She loves the podcast.
How you doing?
Good. Congratulations, Coach TC.
Thank you.
An incredible 12-2 season in just your second year at the helm. What does the future of the Taylor
You got it. It's there.
TC Taylor era at Jackson State look like, and what are the key factors you believe will sustain and build on this momentum in the years to come?
The future right now, I'm going to get some rest. I am tired. This has been a long year. It's early right now. We'll get back to Jackson, and perfect time for me to get on the corner of that couch and just relax. But we're going to hit the ground running. If you guys hadn't seen right now, we're doing a heck of a job recruiting. We got some really good players to join these guys that went out there today, but we got to get to recruiting and try to get back here next year. That's the plan right now. So we'll get back in the next week. I'm going to probably meet with the team real briefly tomorrow, get with the coaches, and we're going to hit the ground, finish this recruiting class. We're about done with it, so we got to continue to build. I know other teams that, in our conference, in the MEAC, they're going to be recruiting. They're going to get better, and we're at the top right now. So everybody's going to want to get after us, so I got to roll these sleeves up, shake it off, get a little nap here and there, and then get back to work.
All right, we'll go up front right here beside her.
Charles Bishop, Dr. Fields,
That's
inside.
Chuck.
How you doing, Coach?
What's up, man?
Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. And I wanted you mentioned the HBCU brand. And I want to speak about the SWAC brand. Now with the Celebration Bowl last year, and you had SWAC challenges 23 and 24 now today. Has the pendulum finally kind of swung back to the SWAC in terms of getting these victories against the rival conference?
It looks that way. It looks that way. The things that Coach Simmons did last year, the things we did in the MEAC SWAC Challenge last year against this same team, and look at this year. That was a dominant performance today by us, and I got to say it looks that way. The SWAC is a long, grinded-out season. It is, man. I'm not lying to you. It's a long, grinded-out season. You have so many worries week in, week out, and you have to have your A game going each and every weekend. They tell you got to win the East. All right, you win the East. Now they got this SWAC championship. You got to go do that. And then you got to turn right around in a week and go, come over here and, win it all. But, again, it's looking that way, and we're going to continue that.
Jamie Walker, HBC Wire. I heard you say in the interview once you stood on the shoulders of W.C. Gordon and James Big Daddy Carson.
Mm-hmm.
What would they say to you today?
WC, I don't know if I can say something to things they be saying, but they'll be proud of me. I know they'd be proud of me. Like I said, they're two great former coaches here at Jackson State, and they'd say you did it the right way. You did it the right way, you built it the right way, and you went out there and got it done.
Front row right here, Coach, front left.
Coach DC, how you doing? Congratulations again. Mike Washington, Dr. Cavill's inside the HBCU Sports Lab.
Great job.
And looking at a few stats, I know you've seen several variations of this question, but you held them to 2 of 13. 1.6 yards per rush. You dominated the clock. And going to Chuck's question, that's the pendulum swinging. And for a while, it was saying we couldn't be as physical with a MEAC team. So if you look at this team and all of those statistics, what are the 2 or 3 things you are most proud of from this team right here and their performance tonight?
Well, the thing going into this game, we got tired. I'm going to be honest with you. We got tired of hearing about them. And that it's a physical brand in the MEAC. If you look at it today, they were more of the finesse team. They tried to throw the ball more. We ran the football. And that's just what it was. But we just got tired of hearing all the talking. The players were tired of, certain people just saying that they were better than us. We said we got to play the game. And that's what I told them. I said, again, we're going to win this thing in the trenches. The O-line, the D-line, we're going to win this thing in the trenches and show everybody, like, we're the best in the country. And that's what they went out there and did. But I'm very proud of all 3 phases. I'm proud of my coaches. They coached their butt off. And you've been seeing what we've been after halftime. This team comes out in the second half and just plays dominant football. But it's just proud of, the whole deal. But, that's what you saw today.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll get the last one to David, our local guy. He's in the
Thanks
back,
again.
Coach.
Once again in the center, David Edelstein, WJTV, CBS 12 in Jackson. I just wanted to ask also, in the first half, basically first time you guys touched the ball, it's returned for a touchdown, and right near the end, interception, return for touchdown, both those called back. Obviously you had the lead, but for some teams that can be, emotional, right? You're up, down, moving around. How did you see your guys just maintain their composure to be able to come out and play, after that first play and then an entire second half and still keep the gears going?
Yeah, every time something explosive happened on our football team, I told them to just calm down. Like at the half, we were up. And I come in there and everybody's smiling, having a good time. I'm like, listen, I need y'all to settle back in and let's lock in and go out here and finish this game. We did have a lot of explosive plays in this football game, defensively, offensively, but I just told them we got to stay even keel, even keel. We can't worry about, if the refs involved in this or the refs did that or, a turnover here. We had the turnover coming out in the second half. We can't worry about those things. You saw me call them up in the fourth quarter. I said, we got 15 minutes left, 15 minutes to go out here and be champions. Let's finish it the right way and with class. That's exactly what I told them. And they went out there and did exactly that.
All right, the final question will go to Keisha, right in front.
Keisha J. Kelly, Black College Experience. Congratulations, Coach Taylor. Yesterday we talked about what you would do when it's over with. Now, before you go take that nap, are you going to take that Christmas tree out the attic?
I got to go up in that attic. And this was messed up. She been on me about it. My wife, she got about 4 Christmas trees up there. But I got to go up there in that attic before we miss Christmas. I think it's a few days before Christmas right now. So she's been working with me because she know the task at hand. But I got to go get up in that attic and get that tree down, ornaments and all. Great question,
Coach. Again, congratulations. Thank you all for being here.
How much did that 19-play drive that Garden State went on in the first quarter, beginning the second quarter, kind of change the complexion of the game for you guys?
Well, that was definitely a big drive. I mean, you look at the ebb and flow of football, there was opportunities to be made, but, if you can continue to convert on third down, third down is what we call money down. And I thought we were doing a good job of getting to third down, but when we got to third down, they were finding ways to stay on the field. So anytime someone can get a 19-play drive on you, that's pretty tough. It kind of wears you down a little bit.
All right.
Coach Nick Harvey, WIS TV. Obviously not the results you wanted today, but 19 MEAC championships now in Orangeburg for SC State. Talk a little bit about the success that you had this season and how you build on that going into next year. The offseason, starts today.
Well, the journey didn't finish the right way. The journey of 1,000 steps starts with a single step, and we didn't get it done today to finish it. But the year was special because nobody believed that we were going to be sitting here today. Just getting guys to buy in, coaches, players, getting them to buy into the process, and like these young men, just to hear them echo the things we talk about every day, it just brings joy to my heart as a head football coach. We didn't get it done today, but all in all, we had a very successful year. Proud of those young men. I told each and every one of them in the locker room I love them, and we'll grow from it and learn from it. I stood there at the end on purpose, and after I shook the head coach's hand and congratulated him on a great season and finishing the drill, I wanted to watch the confetti fall. I stood there and watched because I wanted to watch and let that drive and motivate me as the head football coach, to motivate my staff, to motivate our players, to whenever we get to these moments again, we want to find a way to finish and seal the deal.
Coach.
Over here.
Here.
He's right there, Coach.
Donnell Suggs, the Atlanta Voice. I wanted to ask you, having been your first season, making it to the Celebration Bowl, you touched on it a little bit about the year, but just wanted to talk about making it here to Atlanta. How does that feel?
Well, it's December 14th, 2024. I was hired December 12th, 2023. So I've only been at South Carolina State 367 days. And it's been it's been a journey, man, I definitely love South Carolina State. They do an amazing job, just overall loving Bulldog tenacity and, bringing that pride of winning championships again. Yes, we won the MEAC championship, wasn't able to secure the national championship, but super proud of the team. I think the foundation has been set, and they know the expectations of what we want to build. year in and year out. We don't just want to have a good football team. Yes, we had a good team this year, but we want to have a good football program. And like those young men just shared with you, I just want them to be consistently good at what they do. You don't have to be great every day, just be consistently good. And unfortunately today, we didn't play our best game and we didn't get it done, but I'm super, super proud of our young men. And I love the trajectory that we're on in terms of building a program that's going to last throughout the test of time.
All right, thanks. We go right here.
Coach Maceo Hurd, the Crush Sports Talk. Being on this stage, as you head out in February for recruiting, talk about the exposure from this game and how does that help you putting together a solid class in February?
Well, that was a great recruiting tool today to get a chance to have, potential prospective student athletes to get the opportunity to watch us on the national stage. It's definitely already helped. I mean, if you look at just the conversations we've had with several young men, whether it be high school young men or young men in the portal, they have some familiarity of what we do in our program, the championship that we just won, and what we're building. Like I tell them, man, the next 4 years of your life, if you're a high school guy, is going to set you up for the next 40 years of your life, man, and that's what we're all about, man. And all in all, I think the exposure that happened today, being able to see us on the national stage, to be able to kick off bowl season, it didn't go the way we wanted it, but we got a chance to broadcast and showcase the good things that's going on at South Carolina State University.
All right. Here. You.
Okay.
Good.
Hi, Coach. Kevin Taylor, TaylorMade Sports. Just talk about the fighting your team after getting down 21-0 and still fighting and pressing on.
Well, that's what we're all about, just weathering the storm. We knew, we had a speaker, Willie Spears, going to speak to the team last night, and he told us, he said, there's going to be adversity that's going to happen, but there's ebb and flow in the game of football. And when we went down, guys never quit. They kept fighting. I kept looking at them in their eyes, and that made me even more proud as a head football coach because they never quit through it all. And again, the results wasn't what we wanted it to be, but they kept fighting. Some guys went down early, adversity struck early, but the next man had to step up, and we have a next man up mindset, and guys stepped up and gave their best effort.
All right, we're going to go here, then back row.
Coach, Manuel Blades, Crush Sports Talk. You talk about next man up. You went to Stubblefield for a quick QB change. What was the mindset behind that and making that change?
Well, we needed a spark. We needed a spark because we felt like we had some things early, and we weren't hitting them. There's some things that were open and things that we thought that we had a chance to execute, and we weren't getting it done. So, just wanted to get a different spark. And when we had put Ryan in the last couple weeks of the season, because Eric had been out, Ryan was giving us a good spark, whether it be with his legs, his arm. So we wanted to give him an opportunity. It wasn't necessarily what Eric did bad per se, but we just needed a spark. And we know that, both of those guys are talented individuals, but that was the purpose of putting Stubblefield in for a second. But we ended up getting out there, made a couple plays, but got Eric back in to try to seal the deal for us.
All right, we're going to go back row, then Lute, and then Dr. Covell.
I've got the gray quarter zip on here to your left. Awesome. Aaron Ladd, WANF TV here in Atlanta. If you could pinpoint a couple of reasons why the offense wasn't clicking at full cylinders today, is it something that Jackson State was doing, or was it execution on your end?
Well, respect to what Jackson State was doing. I don't think it was anything necessarily that they were doing because we did a good job of scouting them. We knew exactly what they were going to do. It just comes down to execution. We always talk about paying the fee in our program. That's amazing focus. I thought our team was focused, no question about it. Amazing effort, that's the next E. And I thought we gave good effort for the most part, but we didn't execute. There's ebb and flow and things that happen in the game of football. We don't make excuses nor explanations. We didn't get it done. And I thought Jackson did a good job on all three phases, offensively, defensively, and special teams. We had some guys that kind of went down early. And the next guy had to step up. And we always tell them, man, the opportunity of a lifetime only lasts the lifetime of the opportunity. What do you do with your opportunity? And some guys had some opportunities. Some shined in the moment. Some didn't do as well as they had planned. But all in all, we didn't get it done. I promise you, kudos out to Jackson State. They found a way to win a football game, and we didn't get it done. So, again, no excuses or no explanations.
We want to have time for a few more, so we can go Lute, Dr. Covell, and Mr. Roden. Lute. It might be a reason, Luke.
Luke Williams from the Black College Sports page. Coach, congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Your running attack, it kind of got bottled up. Was it Duhart being out, having to go to KZ, anything particular? Because I thought that was one of the keys to the game.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a key to the game. They were able to run the football a little bit, and we weren't able to run it the way we like to. It all starts up front, you know. The big guys up front got to secure and open up holes for the guys, and the backs got to run the ball and run with reckless abandon. And that didn't particularly happen today. And you're right, they held us to 30 yards rushing, man. That's not a whole lot of rush. You can't win football games like that. We try to always make sure we have good balance and run and pass. And Jackson State did a really good job of stopping our run today.
All right, we can go Dr. Clavell first. Mr. Roden, you have
This is the last question.
Oh, okay. Well, this is the last question. Well, you go, Mr. Roden, you go ahead. Dr. Clavell can wait. Mr. Roden, you have the last question.
That's my man. Dr. Clavell, Kenyatta, Dr. Clavell's inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach Barry, wanted to talk about your assessment of your defense. Obviously, a lot of yards was given up in the totality, but they kept fighting and keeping you a chance with your offense, particularly throughout the first half and even into the third quarter, where it was just a 14-point game. What is your assessment of what they were able to do on the defense side?
Well, I thought our defense really, first of all, they were on the field too much. All right, with the 3 and outs or lack of success that we had on the offensive side of the ball, our defense, spent a lot of time on the field. All right, and I thought we did a really good job on first and second down. I mean, I thought we did, especially early in the game. They were keeping those guys behind the stick. They were trying to run the football. And I think the play that really got them going when they took the shot and hit the post in the middle of the field, because it was just 7-0 at the time. We knew that they were going to try to get us on the double move on something because they weren't really running the ball at that time. At that time, we were doing an amazing job of stopping the run, but when they hit us on that double move and went up 14-0, it kind of took the wind out of ourselves a little bit. But I was proud of our defense. They kept fighting through it all. And like you say, they played a lot of snaps, man, a whole lot of snaps. And we don't want our defense to play that much on the field. So, all in all, I thought Coach O'Daffer and the defense staff did a good job of putting our guys in position, but ultimately we didn't do a good job of executing. Thank you, man.
Coach, once again, thank you again for your time. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Go Dogs.
So just to put into context how dominant Jackson State was, the 21-point margin of victory is tied for the largest victory in this game's history, and the 7 points that South Carolina State was held to, the least in this game's history. A dominant victory for head coach T.C. Taylor and Jackson State.